All right, should be all good to go. Let's just take a quick looky-loo really fast. Any of you guys already here? Comments or not comments, subscriber mode is off. So what do you think you guys want to talk about? Whether you're new or returning or whatever, feel free to. Um, I'm just uploading this stuff to the website, and then we can go ahead and get crack a lacking here with this race. Thank the Lord above. Everybody qualified where they should. Um, I was very curious. I was looking back at my stuff, and I do not have nearly. I'm in the wrong folder. Hold on a minute. I think I looked back and I had like only 3 or 2 times that like we had a lot of like really chalk plays in the 2 lower series because Cup doesn't matter. Um, but I think it's only been like 3 or 2 times in the lower series to where I've actually had stuff go decently right when there's a lot of chalk in the back. And then we just ran into a situation where yesterday where like just everybody died, so that was really depressing and very sad. Let me get this here, and then what I will do, because I want to show some stuff as we get in here. As I said, I'm uploading the projections right now. That's why I'm not showing my screen at the moment, because I need to get this done. But this, and luckily enough, we've had a lot of, I think every Xfinity Series race this year has had a really good grid of not being stupid, not having people qualify where they shouldn't, et cetera, et cetera. We really haven't had a lot of that stuff happen. Everybody is usually playing fairly nice. Okay, so we got that. We got that. All right. Okay, so we'll just compare the last couple slates that we've had, or that we've seen here, rather. Window, screen, share. Let's share. Let's share away. Let's go. All right. So, for example, because people always ask me, despite I do that. I haven't posted this weekend because I figured people are getting annoyed by it, but I have a playlist on my own channel of like 12 hours of plate racing stuff. Like everything I do derives from that content that I've made. And this is stuff I've been doing literally the entire time I've been playing DFS. People always ask how I build lines, what they look like. This was yesterday, right? And the real killer was Bailey Curry and Sauter. Curry, they changed an engine before the race. Like, okay, whatever, stuff's gonna happen. He started in gear oil, and he had to go in the garage early. And then Sauter, which I did not, because it's the same one that Rhodes was taken out in. I didn't feel like that had a ton of damage, but I guess it did. And Sauter and Bailey Curry pretty much ruined the day due to the fact that even with Lane Riggs, Gray, and Dye being involved in, well, Dye was involved in the last crash, but even with Riggs and Gray being wrecked out, those guys still outscored Bailey Curry and Sauter, and that was basically what happened. And for the most part, I had nearly every line with somebody DNF'd. In this race, I did have a line contending, real chance to do some wild stuff, and then McGee absolutely just full throttled, right? But this is how I look. This is how I build lines, right? Like anybody who's seen my stuff sees that this is how it's looked, And even for the purpose of this, I moved these lines over so you could see kind of what I was talking about yesterday of how I'd want to play them together. Because as I stated, typically when you have the good guys in the back, and you can determine how people are going to run, Riggs, Gray, and Dye run together. As I said, their outcomes are pretty intertwined together, and they were both involved in the same crash. So that was yesterday. So that really blew. This is the spring race earlier in the year. Same situation. Didn't really have a ton of chalk. I mean, we had I believe Earnhardt and Jeb back here. You can see I was very light on both these guys. Trusted Jeb more than Earnhardt. This is the winning lineup that I played in 20. But same thing. I mean, I am just playing guys in the backfield, right? That's just how it goes. No reason to not do anything else. Even if you have guys being taken out or and as you can see, I typically watch the race and I just track who's being taken out, relay what lines I have left alive, just so it's easier for me. But when we look at today, and I need to at least change this because people are like, "Oh my God, why are you doing finishing position?" Blah, 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 blah. So we'll call this projected running, POS. Why not? Actually, projected RPRP. I was gonna say run pure sports, but it's not. Um, so this is projected running position, right? Okay, so when we look at it this way, let me at least do this to where it doesn't completely. It's gonna fuck it. It's gonna ruin the sheet. I forgot I have everything integrated on this stupid thing. Yikes. Okay, so let's bring this here. Let's open another sheet really fast. All right, let's just for this here. And just remove these guys. Actually, we'll freeze this. I'll check the chat in a second. I do apologize I haven't checked it yet. Okay, so we'll do this and projected running position, and bam! This is the blueprint. This is it, right? Like this is where we're at. This is where they should be running all day. Okay, so ideally you just want to play everybody that I have projected down here, right? Leland not in play, starting 19th, not going to be. And it really sucks. He qualified so well, but it's pretty much my pool is like from Retzloff down. If you notice, Retzloff is 24th. That's pretty much the highest I want to go. I'm not using Leland. I'm probably not going to be very high on Nick. But past that, I'm building for these guys so we can, like, this is the back half of the field. This is the top half of the field. Your favorites going in are the RCR guys. Chandler Smith, you have the RCR dudes, Joe Gibbs Racing, the SHR guys. Parker is very entwined with the RCR gang, and I mean, this should be the top 10, and this should be the top 15. This is where people should be running and stuff. Now, of course, you're gonna have like, one-off guys of, like, freaking Brandon Poole or something running up front. But this is how I just go ahead and look at things, and I don't even look at it this way. I'm just doing this for the video here. But based on projections and stuff, this is the people that are probably going to be, people are wanting to chase, or people, ran up front, and these guys project so shitty because they're going to run the back of the field, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where that is. Now, when we start looking at the back of the field here, do I have any? I need to check Caesar really fast because I know he had the issue queuing. I need to check and see if we have any more news on good old Caesar really fast. Oh boy, man, he had a motor failure from ECR. Tisk tisk tisk. Tisk tisk tisk. ECR. Letting them down. Also, okay, so like this is what I also made. Like it doesn't even matter anymore because everybody leases motors now. Like all the back markers just lease motors. Okay, like it. Oh man, who's leasing a motor nowadays? Like remember back then when we like scour Facebook to see what like MBM was doing with their stupid motor program and stuff. Now it's like why even post this, Colby? Everybody has real motors now, so we never worry about that. Okay, motor failures get so this motor failures are going to happen and whatnot. So now that we're here, in my mind, just trying to pay attention because, as I stated, if I'm not playing anybody, in this range, as starting too high up, and I'd rather keep it at Parker and Jordan, as you can, team stack quite easily back here, as I've stated before. So all this ownership from first to 23rd doesn't matter to me at all. Not concerned about it. If there's a chalk play, not chalk play, any of this ownership, I'm not even contending with. I don't necessarily care about. So for me, I'm in this range between these, 14 guys here. I got to figure out where ownership is coming from. Now, typically earlier in the season, when it's like the opening stuff, when it's like a 10,000 person contest, it's much more important. We're at like 5,882 people. Not a big concern here, and I'm actually not concerned about ownership really in the slightest here. I'll just cap everybody between like 60 and 45% for the major guys I'm focusing on. But my only thing at this point is determining, who are the people who would probably pool ownership in some form or fashion that I at least want to be wary of and stuff. And now Caesar's going to do whatever he wants. Okay. Now, this is where like a big conflict of my stuff and how people perceive things. Like I get very confused. Like, for example, like Caesar, let's just talk Caesar really fast. So like Caesar, like by definition, similar to like Friesen, right? Like Friesen finished yesterday, but he has like statistically like been a horrific driver. Okay, free. And then same thing with Caesar. So like I'll probably have like, 50, 60% Caesar. Like he's probably going to determine my day, honestly. Way more than he should. But we look back at his last 8 races and you're just going to see he's either plowing into his own guys or he's running at the end. And this one he got involved in a crash because he plowed into his own guys and he DNF'd or he got lapped down. The 2 times he has finished, I've played him in all these races. I have played Caesar in, okay? The 2 times I have played Caesar, I don't remember what last year's this race was, like money wise. Don't think I took the tournament down, but I know I made money. Talladega in the spring, he was in the winning lineup. Like Caesar is going to finish 20 like 8th today, DNF, or he's gonna finish like top 8, right? And statistically, he's like a worse play. 2 out of 8 times he's like actually worked out and stuff. But usually, now yet again, this is where it's like, what is ownership gonna do? Because if people are just pulling statistics, he shouldn't carry ownership, right? Because he's fucking DNFing and everything. Okay, if they're pulling statistics from like the last like 4 races, well then he's probably going to be owned because he's worked out 50% of the time. Like this is where I run into like a big issue trying to figure out what people are using and what projections and everything are working at and stuff. But the other aspect is typically Caesar is not played at all because he's just a fucking shitty driver, and he's never starting last, right? The fact that Caesar is starting last, and like I've played him in all these situations, man. Like the fact that he's starting last, he's not going to lose me any points. I'm like 55, 60% Caesar. I don't give a shit, man. Like I will take Caesar scoring me 4.25 points and wrecking out on lap 4 in this race. Like it does not matter to me. So like I honestly have no clue where Caesar's ownership is going to come in at. I think Lupton. Now I'm playing all like everybody here. Probably as I get farther up, I'm not going to be playing Sammy Smith. I'm not going to be playing. I'll probably have 10% of Jeremy Clements. So I'm not playing Sammy Smith. Because he's probably gonna be chalk. Junior Motorsports. So I'm not playing Sammy Smith. Like I said, I don't know what Caesar's ownership is going to be. Carson's doesn't worry me. Lupton worries me from a racing perspective that he's not going to finish the race, but ownership wise, I'm not worried about it. I think yet again, once we're here, I've eliminated this ownership because I'm not continuing with it. I'm not playing Sammy Smith. I think the chalk down here is going to be DiBenedetto and Kyle Weatherman, and possibly where's Sieg at? It's possibly these 3 guys. We'll make that orange. So like when we're looking, I'm going to pull this to the side just so I can kind of machine gun through these guys, because this is why I'm thinking this. Like we look at, actually we'll go through all of them just really fast here, just so we can kind of see like where has no data to pull from. Dylan Lupton doesn't either. I believe he's ran a Truck Series race recently, but I don't think it's been on a plate race. We look at Weatherman, and like in my mind, he used to be very. I mean, this yet again, I don't know why it's only last 10 races. Like this should be pulling way more stuff. It should be pulling his last like Mike Harmon stuff, and he would run a lot better when he was in the Mike Harmon stuff. Now that he's like with DGM and Mario Gosling, like these guys want to go up there and race, which is like very, very, very concerning. As you can see, a lot of DNFs in these situations here. So probably I'm not necessarily any more worried about Weatherman's ownership as much as I thought he would be. Now, Kyle Sieg is a guy that I love. Should absolutely just be like a rock solid play here. I mean, running at the end of every single race, he just runs last. Like Kyle Sieg's the best play on the slate. Kyle Sieg, Caesar, the Alpha Beta Prime boys, like these are people who are just going to ride all day. They know what they're doing. Like Kyle Sieg is like the fucking god. So like Kyle Sieg is probably going to carry ownership because he's just so good here. Same thing with De Benedetto. Um, Now the fact that we don't have a lot of races with like why is it not pulling more? I don't know why it's not pulling more of them. But like De Benedetto seems to be like the two. Kyle Sieg and De Benedetto seem to be the two chalk plays down here because they're the best plays. In terms of from like a skill perspective and stuff, just from where I'm at, the secondary guys from that don't carry the ownership that would warrant uh, that same, or let me change it. The people who are in the exact same boat as them but aren't carrying the same ownership is Ellis, Poole, the Alpha Beta Prime dudes. They're going to run together. They typically survive. I mean, you look at Ellis here, and I mean these are late. I mean, I could. This is a wreck. No, this one. This is a wreck that this is Caesar taking his own guy out, dude. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. But I love the way Ellis races. I like that he typically rides and stuff. I know these the statuses aren't as appealing as other guys, but I personally love how Ellis races. I love how Poole races. Um, I mean, like these guys know what we're doing. We're only trying to just pick the guys who are not going to be stupid and survive in these races. And I mean, it's very very easy to do when we're going through these people here. Past that, I mean, guy that I don't really like to play is Jeremy Clements. I mean, this guy's all over the place, but I don't like how he races. Clements runs up in the front way more than I want him to. And I mean, he's fitted, outside of the fucking Daytona race in the fall, the guy has DNF like 4 in a row. He runs up front. Now, these are wrecks that he's involved in late in the race typically, but he just rides too aggressive for my liking in these races. Same thing with Caesar. Like Caesar will just like big hoss it up to like 14th in like the middle of stage 2. Like, what are you doing, Caesar? Um, so those are like my real own like only opinions on people. Of like things to note. Now we've got like that squared away. Who, like we have Anderson, we have Parker. We don't give a shit about Jeb because he's not in the pool that we're worried about. But like Parker and Jordan are going to most likely be together and ride. Like Anderson's not going to tear up his car. Who are the people that are going to ride? We can go ahead and remove Clements for this because this is not relative to this discussion here. Who are the people that are going to ride in the back of the field? Right, the true King Kongs of the Xfinity Series slate. Okay, should be Jordan. Now Jordan has ran up front too, but typically I'm not worried about him. I'm really not. Like Joey Gase, Cody Ware, best plays, man. My God, the Gase Motorsports. Oh, run in the back, please, man. I love them. We got Poole, we got Ellis, we got Perkins, we got Kyle Sieg, De Benedetto, the RSS guys, and the Alpha Beta Prime boys. I mean, they're going to be in the back, man. This is how you play. The wild cards here, and this is why I'm kind of so concerned about like Weatherman. Probably going to go up there and race. Lepton have no clue what they're going to do. Or like no clue how Lepton and Weatherman are gonna approach this, man. Weatherman's a wild man, and Lepton's a true unknown. But we can very easily determine what Anderson, Gase, Poole, Perkins, Ellis, De Benedetto, Kyle Sieg, where Caesar is going to do. So like that's where my stuff is going to be focusing on for the most part. And that's that. Show's over. Like that's it. Just pray to whoever you believe in that these goobers, these goddamn high rollers up here just decide to kill each other and wreck themselves. And that's the approach. That's it. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Yeah, what's going on, Kyle? Yeah, no, yesterday is DEF CON 1. And all the people who like, oh, I'm gonna try and stack from the back, and then this happens and they get all pissed off. They're like, that doesn't work. But yeah, no, yesterday was DEF CON 1, worst case situation. Um, that really, really sucks. And even still, like, it is what it isn't. Excuse me. I've had this cough for like a week now. The Ideally, what I want to do even when I review the stuff yesterday, like when I view my own stuff, right? Might be easier to do this on the DraftKings thing. We'll see. We could show off the absolute zero balance in the account currently. And then you just see all my reserve shit for today. But like yesterday, I put in 300, got back 32, right? But when I look back at at the lines, and this is why I want to do this because it'd probably be easier than looking at the. Give me a second. Hold on. What I determine if I did it correctly or not. People wreck out whatever, right? But for the most part in these races, okay, this is a real crash, right? Tanner Gray wrecks out or whatever. 5 guys not involved in crashes. Now Sauter, Sauter DNFs, right? Like, he's involved in for the most part, Sauter's riding all day. Unlucky got involved. This is a lineup I'm very happy with. 5 guys, and you'd be like, oh, Sauter, like this is what I want for my lines. I want 5. I mean, really, I mean this. I mean, like I said, dude, Sauter like DNFing. I really wish I would have known what caused them to do that, because them and him, Rhodes, and Purdy all DNF from this crash. And it did not seem that massive. And for the most part, that wreck goes differently. Sauter escapes that wreck. So, like, this is a race, or this is a line that has 6 guys through it. Now this is a true wreck, but like even Bailey Curry had an engine failure on lap 17. So, like, this, when I look at this, a lineup with 4 guys who didn't run into issues. And this is why you don't play the fucking chalk at these goddamn tracks, man. This is why you don't play the chalk. Every time I'm like, oh boy, guess I gotta play the chalk. The chalk, don't play the chalk at these stupid races. Like, don't piss away line. Like, when I view this, it's like, man, I really did just throw away 5 lineups with these idiot guys out there. And then they outscored my dude. Like, it isn't worth to play the chalk, right? But you look here, 5 guys truly without a wreck. 5 guys, like I can't really consider mechanical failures being an issue. Another one, McGee, what are we doing? I mean, Mason somehow survived this, but like McGee, dude, he's wrecking. They're wrecking since turn 3, my guy. Like, Jesus, I thought it was Brian who was a moron. Maybe it's just the car. Maybe it's just the 28 filled with like absolute, brain spilling out of the guy's ears. But like, man, for the most part, like I'm pretty like, another one. Realistically, a lineup that doesn't have 2 guys taken out of the wrecks. This is, I mean, McGee's wrecking late anyway. Whatever, it's McGee. But like, lineup with all 6 guys still alive. Lineup with all 6 guys still alive. I mean, Curry doesn't run an issue. I mean, these are the types of lineups that I'm running with. Now this is a real, like, true DNF. And then once we get back here, another one, 5 guys still alive. Sodders, I mean, that's 6 trucks. So I'm, that's how the process goes. I mean, clearly, they're scoring poorly, which also, this is typically what I want to see. If it's going to be bad, let's be at the bottom of the contest and stuff. So like when I'm looking at today's, and we got 2 hours and 14 minutes to build our lineups. It's just, we just got to, pray these idiots up here wreck. We're going back to like what Kyle and K-Diz says. I mean, that really is, worst case DEFCON 1 situation there. Yeah, I mean, internet stress, brother, man. I made an hour-long video, or 40. I get like 40. Oh my God, hold on here. Did you see that? Oh my God, Brandon, did you see the changes to the cars? Oh man, no, what do you think of the changes to the cars, man? Oh man, what do you think? If only you could talk about the changes to the cars. Oh man, like, I've already talked about that. Jesus Christ, it's a plate race. How would I not talk about the changes to the cars? Oh boy. So yes, I did. Let's see. Let's see. Kate Diz, Brandon Jones, Smith, Anderson, Poole. Probably chalk. I mean, I thought that was the lineup. Sorry, I was getting all excited. I mean, we're talking about that. The King of yeah, dude. Shout out to Phil, man. King of the Cogs. Yes, Prime. We leave 8. We leave a couple hundred. We leave a couple thousand. We leave 4, 5, 6. I mean, here, brother, man. Let's. Here, we'll just tear up the Google. we'll just tear up the Google Sheets because I haven't moved any of this stuff over in a while. So like Daytona Summer, we'll look at. Do I have any other Daytonas here? Or Talladegas. Xfinity Daytona Summer. No, I got the Cup Summer somewhere. Where are we at? Brother man, what the heck? Where is my Cup Daytona? Summer 24. Why was that not popping up? Yeah, I'm leaving motherfucking thousands here. So much. This is which one was it? Was it this one or it was a Parker Retzloff? It's this one here. This is the $100,000 lineup entering the last green white checkered here. We look back at how much we're leaving here, and it's just thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, and you get the gist, you get the point. What else? What else? What else? Let's see. Yeah, no, I'm like, dude, I talk. If anything, like I would rather not do a preview video on like some Darlington weekend, and I'd rather talk an hour about like Talladega and Daytona and stuff. But I mean, that's it. We got six of you guys here. I do appreciate it. And past that, we'll see what the King Kongs do, and hopefully, by the grace of God, they wreck up front and they don't take out the guys in the back. We'll see what Caesar does. I think Caesar and his like absolute like testosterone brain is a great play, but in reality, he has probably less than a 20% chance of surviving this race. Like, there's no way Caesar doesn't ass plow his own teammate or he's involved in a wreck. That's where I'm at. So we'll see what happens. We'll be here tomorrow. Probably be live tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern. No, it'd be 10 a.m. Eastern time, 9 o'clock my time. I'm in Central. And then an hour later will be the NFL show with Bobby Sheets and Rhodey. What else you guys doing here? Hey, don't you crap on Joey Gase, dude. Joey Gase is good. You know why Joey Gase is good? Because he pays with his own money. Joey Gase is like what I wish Tommy Joe Martins would be. You never hear about Joey Gase complain about money, right? Never hear about it. He just does his own thing, right? Joey Gase is always running at the end of these races. Okay? He's always running at the end. Meanwhile, Tommy Joe Martins, he doesn't have a fucking serpentine belt for one of his cars. Like, what are we doing? Tommy Joe. And then he complains about how expensive they are. Dude, I would bet $100 right now. Tommy Joe Martin tweets at the end of this race, I just can't believe we're tearing up so much money. What are these guys doing? Like, he'll tweet something like that following this race. Tommy Joe Martins will be so mad that he's involved in racing that he makes you act. He looks like a guy who doesn't want to be involved in racing at all. It's that's just how Tommy Joe Martins is. And like that's why it's so wild that like I think I tweet about it. Let me look. Where'd I put it? And I put it somewhere. Hold on. Yeah. Like, bro, this is like, dude, it's crazy. Dude, Caesar is one of the worst guys I've ever seen. Like, he's torn up so much equipment. And it's so ironic that he races for Tommy Joe, who just complains about people tearing up money. It's crazy. Or like, dude, I'm sure Rayum or like whatever, they're like, well, I'm just so mad smaller teams tear up so much money at these Talladega races, and then your own driver is the one plowing into wrecks. Like, what are you, dude? Look in the mirror, guys. Oh man. But that's mainly it. Best of luck. I'd play Parker Retzloff to Caesar down and just hope we get some chaos and stuff. Past that, I think that's about it. Thank you, Kyle, for being here. Thank you, Internet Stress, for being here. Thank you. Why? Why why don't you like Carson? Why what's to hate about Carson? The guy's this is a rapper, right? Um, trying to get back into racing. Full sponsorship on the car too. Like, I mean, that's nothing to shake a stick at. Joey Gay's car to where he's restricted by, like, Gay's not just let him tear a car up. Starting 37th, nobody wants to play him. Carson Ware's a great play. I mean, realistically, this is such a great starting grid. It, it's phenomenal. I'm looking forward to it. And none of these guys should stress you out at all. The stress should not come from the drivers here. The stress should come from the race and when wrecks need to happen. That is where the stress should come from. It should not come from each individual driver. It should come from like, oh, freaking crap, bro. We're on lap 89. 7 of my guys are a lap down, and the leaders haven't wrecked yet. That's where the stress comes in. I don't know if Cody Ware's running tomorrow. I haven't even, I'll look at the starting grid for that tomorrow. But anyway, that's mainly it. Best of luck, guys. Hope you guys have fun, and see you guys tomorrow morning. Bye bye.